Everybody, welcome back. Another character review for you. And as of the recording of this video, it is just in time for those of you who might not have bought X23. We got our Blitz this week, and we got another one coming next week, so many people are going to be unlocking her in the next week or so. So we're going to go over her abilities, a little bit of the T4s, not the stuff that Yeti, Punk, and I do. That stuff's already out there. But most importantly, going to cover her stats. So really no reason to elaborate other than saying she's a fantastic tune. So let's go check out some of those details.
Bring me WolverThor!
These abilities, we're checking this out on Discord via the Ultron bot. It's a great bot if you have not tried using it. First ability up here is the basic from X23. It's called Attack primary target for 200 piercing. It goes up by 50% piercing with the T4 and a 75% chance to gain evade, which goes up to 100% if you bump it up with the T4s. So pretty nice basic here. This is going to end up being your turn 3. I do love the gain evades there, as I mentioned in the T4 infographic. But as a turn 3 ability, I'm not sure how much I love it, but you will use it for a little bit while she gets some of those other abilities going. So her first ability here is her special. The special is called Relentless Assault. Attack primary target for 240% piercing, an additional 60% if you use those T4s, plus apply ability block. The ability block is something that's really nice. So depending who you're fighting in war, you can make sure that person doesn't use their ability. If blocked or dodged, gain a bonus attack for 290% damage, or I'm sorry, 290% piercing. With again T4s, you get an additional 60%. Apply a +1 ability block up to a maximum of 3. Bonus attack is unavoidable. So if you get blocked and apply that ability block, then you're attacking again and potentially applying more ability blocks. So it could be pretty nice if that's actually done properly, and actually it's like, all right, go ahead, block me. You want to block me? Bring it on. So I really like this ability. It's nice. In war, you bonus attack gains 10,000% extra focus. Percent. Again, no consistency on these, but whatever. It's a percent in this one, at least according to the code. So again, I like this ability. First turn, you can really lock somebody down for a little bit here if they're blocking Sif, for instance, if you really want to. Anybody to keep those ability blocks on them or keep them from using their abilities. So next up, we've got her ultimate, Feral Rage. Now this should be your second ability. And depending what Negasonic does or the other team does, you can get this ability here pretty quick. Attack the most injured non-summoned target for 120% piercing. You gain an additional 20% piercing with the T4. You ignore taunt and stealth. Plus 70% chance to flip the stealth on that target. If you use your T4s, you're guaranteed to flip that stealth. You want to flip that stealth, especially, typically these situational things I don't love, but in a war situation where you're probably going to want to use these guys against Asgardians quite a bit, you probably want to guarantee you do it. And plus you get the additional piercing, so it's like, why not? Repeat this attack 4 times. 4. So that piercing is kind of, it's multiplying up a little bit if you want to think about it that way. If X23 finishes the last non-summoned enemy, repeat this full attack against the most injured summoned targets. So it's not just going to stop running because there's no more non-summoned opponents. It will start going after some of the summoned folk, which is pretty nice. So great ability, love it. You're probably already using this in war if you've bought her. We did the T4 upgrades. The guaranteed chance to flip the stealth is pretty primo. Last up is the passive, Mutant Weapon. On turn, heal for 10% of this character's max health. When an enemy drops below 50% health, fill speed bar by 20%. Now, you could get another 20% for a total of 40% speed bar fill if you pump the T4s into it. And honestly, I think you should, because you want her going more often. If she can just be the killing machine that she's capable of being, this helps her get it there. So I would heavily recommend you getting that T4 in there. When this character's health drops below 50%, gain 2 evade. So she should be able to live a little bit longer. So she drops below 50%, 2 evade, which hopefully will help her heal more. So again, killing machine, mutant weapon, feral rage, all of that. They really did a good job with naming her abilities. Gain 40% focus for herself, X-Force allies, and Wolverine. With T4s, you get an additional 20% on that, so it's a total 60% focus. On War Offense, it's gained 60% focus for self, X-Force allies, and then additional 20% for a total of 80% focus for that same group. So I really love her kit. Coming in with the special and then going in with the alt, you get a couple turns of that basic, so you're throwing some more evades. The more evades she has, the more ability she's got to heal up, the more ability she's got to survive and just take out the enemy team. This girl can just wreak havoc. I love her. I really want to start testing her more in raids. I know a bunch of other people have. PvP, she's really fun to use there as well. So that's what she's got. That's a kit. Let's check out the thing that you're probably here to see, and that's the stats for her. All right, for those of you who are unaware, I have a giant spreadsheet where I take all of the characters in the game, put all of their stats in them, and then rank them per category, and then I have an average ranking off to the side. So I can essentially rank all the characters in the game based on their stats. I love it. It's fun. I got to create a baseline for that, which is per msf.gg, level 75, 7 yellow stars, 4 red stars, T14. I like that one now because it helps you decide, well, I want to bring this tune up because of their stats. 25% star tech and passive level 4 per msf.gg, like I mentioned. So, X23, got the floating head rolling here. Kind of forgot that when you wear the green shirt, again, it gets a little goofy. But anyway, you get the idea. It doesn't matter, floating head or not, you're here for the stats, not me. Let's see here. So let's zoom in a bit so we can see X23. X23, actually, if you rank the stats across the board, comes in at the 62nd rank tune of the game. And don't let that freak you out too much. A lot of her damage is done through the piercing aspect. So that really kind of increases her damage a little bit. One of the key stats here that you're going to see is her health. With that self-healing, you want that health pool to be really high. She's got the 10th best health pool in the game. This is before any team buffs, if they're out there, or anything like that, okay? Next up would be damage. For a piercing character, she comes in at 66. That's still pretty darn good. She's going to be hitting hard. So 15,205, that's quite a bit higher than Toad. It's sadly behind Okoye, which is actually kind of funny. So, but Okoye she's not as like piercing heavy as someone like X23. Next up is armor, 6734 for a rank of 87. Don't love that, it's pretty weak, but given she's got so many evades coming at her with not just her own kit, but also dominoes and that healing factor, I'm okay with that. That's not too bad. The focus, now this is deceiving again because of her passive. It's 6792, but again at a rank of 54. But with her own passive kit, this will go up. So she's going to be landing those ability blocks, etc. Plus the extra focus she gets from some of the abilities. So don't freak out about the focus there. It's not that big of a deal. Now, terrible ranking here is the resistance. 131, that's pretty bad. So don't expect her to resist basically anything. You know, even at T14, it's kind of like, whoa, wah, wah, wah. And then speed, she's a pretty decent speedster here, coming in with 115 speed, ranked 31st. That's pretty solid. So she's going to be going pretty early. Plus, it's not even factoring in all the X-Force speed bar manipulation that you're going to get. Average rank across the board there is 63.2. Yeah, all right, it's pretty good. You know, to me, I was really looking at her health and looking at her damage. That's the stuff I wanted to see. Knowing that she was going to probably land those ability blocks. The speed obviously is important too, but there is some speed bar manipulation. So I like what I see overall here with X23. Really good tune. If you guys have already got her, you're probably already aware of that. For those of you who don't have her and maybe you're starting to wonder, like, all right, I'm a day in a blitz here. How much harder do I want to push? This should help you figure that out. She's a good tune. So anyway, let's do a quick outro. All right, so that's it. X23. Again, great tune. Love the kit. Great war offense team. The health pool and the damage are high enough where you're actually like, all right, she's giving me what I want. So when you combine that with the evades, self-healing, other stuff that's going on with X-Force, build her up, build her up, build her up. Now, if you don't care about war, I still think she's a good tune for both PvP and raids. So don't just ignore her because you're like, oh, she's on war, whatever. She will have some versatility throughout the game, in my opinion. Now, if you're into war, one of the things I want to say is, with war, you always want to make sure your offensive teams are pretty well built up so that they can beat those heavy defenses out there, because there's nothing worse than being in war and getting stuck on a meta team on defense because nobody has a really strong team. So I encourage people to build up those war offense teams. You know, you don't necessarily counter a war offense team. You can lose a war defense team you build up. It could eventually kind of be countered by something pretty easily. But a war offense team, it's always going to be useful. So think of it that way. So anyway, go get X23. Whether it's blitz or you buy, whatever you're going to do, go get her. So that's all I got to say about that. So appreciate you stopping by, share with your alliance mates. Come to the Discord, link in the description below. Would love to hear from you guys what your thoughts are. Hammer down on that like button, click the notification bell, subscriptions, blah, 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 blah. You get it. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.